Have you ever made a mistake so catastrophic that it felt like the entire world was crumbling around you? Picture this. You're at the top of your game, celebrated for your achievements, and then, bam, one misstep sends everything spiraling out of control. Scary, isn't it? But here's the twist. What if that colossal failure wasn't the end, but the very thing you needed to rise higher than ever before? That's exactly what happened to Ray Dalio, one of the greatest investors of all time. His story isn't just about losing everything. It's about how he turned disaster into a masterclass in resilience and wisdom. And here's the best part. The lessons he learned aren't just for billionaires. They're for you and me. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll see how his principles can transform your financial life too. The year of overconfidence, 1982. Let's set the scene. The year is 1982. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, is making waves on Wall Street. He's young, ambitious, and brimming with confidence. So much confidence, in fact, that he predicts a massive economic downturn that he believes will shake the world. He doesn't just make this prediction quietly. He stakes his reputation and his company's resources on it. He's so sure he's right that he advises his clients to make bold financial moves based on his forecast. And then nothing happens. The global economy doesn't crash. Instead, it rebounds, and Dalio's bold predictions turn out to be dead wrong. The consequences are brutal. Clients pull out their investments. Bridgewater teeters on the brink of collapse. Dalio himself is forced to borrow $4,000 from his dad just to pay his bills. Imagine that, a man once hailed as a financial genius reduced to near bankruptcy. It's a humbling experience, to say the least. But here's where the story takes a turn. Instead of letting this failure define him, Dalio uses it as a wake-up call. He realizes that his overconfidence blinded him to the possibility of being wrong. And so, he embarks on a journey of self-reflection and reinvention. He begins documenting everything he's learned from his mistake, distilling his insights into a set of principles that will guide his decision-making moving forward. Radical transparency, the first key lesson. One of the most powerful lessons Dalio learns is the importance of radical transparency. In his words, pain plus reflection equals progress. Think about that for a moment. How often do we shy away from our failures, burying them under layers of denial and excuses? Dalio's approach is the opposite. He embraces his mistakes, analyzes them, and extracts valuable lessons from them. This principle doesn't just apply to billion-dollar decisions. It's something we can all use in our everyday lives. For example, let's say you've been struggling to save money. Every month, your paycheck seems to disappear before you've even had a chance to build up your savings. Instead of blaming your expenses or your job, take a page from Dalio's book. Reflect on your habits. Are you dining out too often? Splurging on unnecessary subscriptions? Identifying the root of the problem is the first step towards solving it. The power of humility. Another key principle Dalio develops is the power of humility. After his failure, he starts seeking advice from others, even those who disagree with him. He creates a culture at Bridgewater where employees are encouraged to challenge ideas, including his own. This willingness to listen and learn becomes a cornerstone of his success. Humility also plays a role in personal finance. Imagine being willing to admit you don't know everything about managing your money. For instance, you might feel confident about your budget, but maybe you're not considering tax-efficient investments or the benefits of diversification. A financial advisor, or even a simple conversation with a well-informed friend, could open your eyes to strategies you've overlooked. Humility isn't about admitting weakness. It's about recognizing where you can grow, thinking in consequences beyond the obvious. Dalio's comeback story doesn't end with his personal growth. The principles he develops not only save Bridgewater, but turn it into one of the most successful hedge funds in the world. His book, Principles, Life and Work, lays out the very rules that guided him from the depths of failure to the heights of success. One of these principles is the idea of second and third order consequences. Essentially, it's about thinking beyond the immediate impact of your decisions and considering the long-term ripple effects. Let's make this practical. Suppose you're deciding whether to buy a new car. The first-order consequence is obvious. You'll have a shiny new vehicle. But what about the second and third order consequences? Monthly payments, insurance costs, and depreciation will all add up, potentially straining your finances for years to come. Dalio's principle teaches us to weigh these factors carefully, ensuring that short-term gratification doesn't derail long-term goals. Systems and processes, a blueprint for success. Of course, no story about Ray Dalio would be complete without mentioning his emphasis on systems and processes. After his failure, he becomes obsessed with creating a playbook for decision-making. He treats every mistake as data, using it to refine his system. This systematic approach allows him to remove emotion from his decisions, relying instead on logic and evidence. What does this mean for you? Start by creating your own financial playbook. Set clear goals, whether it's saving for a house, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund. Break those goals down into actionable steps. For example, if you want to save $10,000 in a year, calculate how much you need to set aside each month. Automate your savings to ensure consistency. By turning your financial goals into a system, you'll be far less likely to veer off track. Another way to systematize your finances is by using budgeting tools or apps like Mint or Inab. You need a budget. These tools help you track your spending, identify patterns, and stick to your financial plan. Ray Dalio's focus on systems can be applied in countless ways, from automating your bill payments to setting up investment contributions that happen automatically each month. It's about creating a structure that works for you, so you don't have to rely solely on willpower. The ultimate takeaway: Ray Dalio's story is a testament to the power of resilience, self-awareness, and continuous learning. His failure wasn't the end of his journey. It was the beginning of a transformation that would make him one of the greatest investors of our time. And while you might not be managing a billion-dollar portfolio, the principles he developed are just as applicable to your life. Ask yourself, how can you apply radical transparency to your finances? What mistakes have you made recently? And what lessons can you extract from them? Are you thinking about the second and third order consequences of your decisions? These questions aren't just rhetorical. They're an invitation to take control of your financial future. And here's one final thought. What if your biggest failure isn't a setback, but a stepping stone? Ray Dalio's story proves that even the most crushing defeat can be the foundation for something extraordinary. So, what are you waiting for? Start building your own principles today. If this story resonated with you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're just getting started on this journey to financial empowerment, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's turn those mistakes into milestones together.